the Super Bowl runner-up Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl window?
It's got to be wide open. I mean, they were just in the Super Bowl last season,
100%.
and they made moves this offseason to further extend the Super Bowl window. When you go out there and you trade away Miles, or you let Miles Sanders walk out the front door, you're like, wow, that's crazy. Oh, wait, let's go trade for DeAndre Swift. Makes perfect sense. They're about the same type of running back, except DeAndre Swift is younger. Makes perfect sense. You go out there and you're drafting you're drafting so many of these Georgia Bulldogs from that championship defense. And guess who you already have on that roster? Georgia Bulldogs from that championship defense. So there's a level of familiarity there with the guys you already have, with some of the guys that you're bringing in. Who they bring in? They brought in Jalen Carter, and I believe they also brought in Nolan Smith as well.
And
that's
Keely
amazing.
Ringo.
Keely Ringo, when you already have who on the roster? N'Kobe Dean. So you are building a defense that from top to bottom is elite. Defensive line, elite. Linebacker core, elite. Secondary, elite. Then you get to the offense. Offensive line is elite. Jalen Hurts, I know we'll talk about him later because we'll both be in our top 10, of course, when we get to that point in the show. Elite quarterback already, right? You're looking at Dallas Goedert, who I don't think gets enough respect out of the tight end position because he's not as flashy as a Travis Kelce, or he's not as flashy as a George Kittle, or
People forget he plugged in really well when Zach Ertz wasn't super healthy.
Absolutely did. Days. But so once you get past the Mark Andrewses and the Darren Wallers and the George Kittles and the Travis Kelces of the world, there's no reason why Dallas Goedert can't slot in that fifth spot as the fifth best tight end in football. And if you want to be completely honest, and I want to give a lot of respect to Darren Waller. Darren Waller has had a lot of injury issues. And for that reason only, you could make a legit argument that Dallas Goedert is the fourth because he's more available than Darren Waller is. Not maybe as dynamic and as crisp as Darren Waller, but from an availability standpoint, he's more available. I could put him at fourth. Then you have your two guys outside. You've got A.J. Brown and you have Devontae Smith. This is a team from top to bottom on offense and defense is probably the most they are the most complete team in football. And the only reason why they're more complete than the 49ers is because the 49ers have a quarterback issue. If the 49ers had like a top 15, like if they still had, like you said earlier, they still had Jimmy G, the 49ers most complete team in football. But they're not, unfortunately. It's the Eagles. And when you're just coming off a Super Bowl season when there were questions about whether or not Jalen Hurts could do it, when there were questions about whether or not Nick Sirianni could do it, they're doing it.
I get it.
Look at the division. And I know we're going to talk about the Cowboys in just a second. Look at the division. Other than the Dallas Cowboys, who legit has a legit claim to say they could knock off the Eagles? And no one even wants to give the Cowboys their respect, but I'll shoot the Cowboys some bail and I'll say we've yet to see Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott go one-on-one yet. This iteration of these players with this iteration of these teams. Hopefully we'll see that both times next season. We would have a better understanding, but 100%. There's only one team in the NFL that has a more open championship window than the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about them later, of course, but the Eagles, wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there with you, man. Wide open as well. Jalen Hurts coming in, silencing all the haters. I knew Hurts was him. I knew he had it in him as well to be able to do what he did. Great draft. They do go, I think, from the easiest to now the hardest schedule in the NFL. We saw how those schedules flip for them. They do have a new offensive coordinator. They do have a new defensive coordinator. So that is going to be interesting, but I can't have a team that just had a shootout with with one of the GOAT coaches in the history of the league, with a top 7 quarterback already in Patrick Mahomes in NFL history, with that offense, Bieniemy still being there, losing 38-35, and in my opinion, outplaying Mahomes. I know Hurts lost. Can't say that it's anything but wide open for them.